All right, so I just finished a coaching call with one of my clients, and she's going through a situation that a lot of you might be also going through. So I wanted to share this with you to kind of give you an idea that I gave to her on how to overcome this situation. And hopefully, you're not hearing all that. It is a windy day out here today. Hopefully, my noise cancellation on my microphone is actually allowing you to not hear what's going on out there, but it is a windy day out there. But anyway, so just got off a coaching call with one of my coaching clients, and she is going through something that a lot of you, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to get into better shape, you probably also gone through. So I wanted to share something that I told her to do, and I've been telling clients to do for years that has helped them tremendously. Because oftentimes, well, here's what she said. She said, I'm still struggling with eating things that I know I shouldn't eat, and I'm eating them even though I know I shouldn't eat them. And what often happens when we do that is what follows. We beat ourselves up for doing the things that we know we shouldn't do. And oftentimes, what I say is if you're going to do something that you know you shouldn't do, you know you shouldn't do it, don't do it. But if you're going to do it anyway, don't beat yourself up over doing it. And we very rarely ever benefit from beating ourselves up over doing things that we know we shouldn't do. The beating ourselves up only sends us further down the sends further down the hole of just feeling bad for ourselves and having a hard time getting out of that hole. So what I told her I wanted her to do, and what I've given this tip to a lot of my clients, and I share these tips with you because if you're watching these videos, like 95 plus percent of my clients, you probably want to lose weight. You want to get in a better shape. You're unhappy with where you're at right now and you want to improve. So I'm a firm believer in not dwelling on what you've done, but learning from what you've done. So what I told her to do is turn it into, instead of beating yourself up when you do something you know you shouldn't do, instead of doing that, I said, turn it into a game. So here's how the game works. I said, your goal is, so she said this week her goal was to give up cookies. So I said, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go as long as you possibly can without eating cookies. And then I said, if you have a day where you eat cookies, you get over it, you move on. Now, the goal from that point is I said, let's say if it's 4 days, let's say you went a 4 day stretch without eating cookies. And that was the longest you've ever gone without eating cookies. I said, pat yourself on the back because that's an accomplishment. I said, now the game is we've got to beat that 4 days. So I said, next time, 4 days turns into 8 days. Now you've just doubled the amount of time that you went without those cookies. You went 4 days the first time and now 8 days. I said, dust yourself off, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, pat yourself on the back because that's the first time you've ever gone 8 days without eating those cookies. And I said, now you got to beat 8 days. Now you got to go longer than 8 days. So what if next time it turns into 15 days? You dust yourself off, you pat yourself on the back because that's the longest time you've ever gone, 15 days without eating cookies. I said, then you try to beat the 15 days, so on and so forth. I said, eventually what you're going to do is you're going to stack so many wins. It's going to feel so good to accomplish that goal and to go further each and every time that you're going to just keep trying to go further and go further and go further to the point where you're no longer really thinking about this food. And that is the biggest win. That's where we're trying to get to. One of my clients once said to me, she said, I don't know if I'll ever get over these cravings. And I said, well, maybe the goal is not to get over cravings because there could be so many things that could be behind cravings. They could be from good memories in your past. They could be from bad memories in your past. So a lot of these cravings can be so deep rooted that maybe the goal is not to get over cravings. Maybe the goal is not to never crave foods again, but maybe the goal is to control those cravings. Not so that you never crave these foods again, but the goal is so that you get to the point where you can control when you eat them and how much you eat them. And I think that is the best of both worlds, where you can still have some of these foods that you really enjoy, but those foods don't control you and you control them. So this is something that I've given a lot of my clients that has helped them over the years to overcome the beating themselves up over doing something that they know they shouldn't do. And it slowly gets them to the point where they can completely either get over doing it or at least be able to control their urges to eat things that they know they shouldn't eat, but they can eat them within moderation and be in control of eating them. So it was a tip that I gave to my client. She's going to do it for this week. We'll see where we end up on our next coaching call. But if it's something that you've been looking for a solution to, you eating things that you know you shouldn't eat, you eating things that you know are stopping you from reaching your goals, and you just can't control your urges, and you end up beating yourself up, and then you end up feeling bad about it, and then you end up completely throwing yourself off, give this a try. You won't know unless you try. You can't knock it till you tried it. So give it a try. Come back to the video. Let me know how it helped you. And if you need help on your journey, click the first link below in the description. Fill out the form, and the two of us together will figure out what we need to do to get you from where you're at to where you want to be.